we're going to work on a real basic thing, okay? It's what I call Kime, some people call zanshin. It's the follow through after a throw. Let's look at Taitotoshi, okay? So he's just going to watch how he finishes the Taitotoshi. Right there, okay? We have Kazushi, which is unbalancing or breaking the balance or posture. Sukure, fitting the body in and building the technique. Kake, actually executing the throw, putting him in the air and putting him down with the throw. And then kind of a third and a half element is the finish, is Kime, which means to finish, or to focus there, or to zanshin, which means to kind of finish things up. This kind of means the same thing. So whatever you call it, it's the finish of the throw. Now, you know, you may not have crash pads in your, you know, we do, but some people may not, you know. And that's where good ukemi skills are really important if you're taking a fall, if you're uki. So that's really important too. But it's also incumbent upon the thrower to take care of his partner, okay? And what I want to focus here, guys, is when you throw somebody, throw them and end up in control. You shouldn't have to land on the guy. Now, if sometimes in like makikomi or follow-through throws or sutemiwaza, the sacrifice throws, you're going to have to land on them, like big uranagis or kind of big thigh sweeps, you know, obitori gaishis, those type of big. You're going to land on the guy. That's just part of the game. But in a lot of forward throws, a lot of foot sweeps, probably almost all foot sweeps, and certainly a lot of leg throws, hand throws, you don't have to land on them, you land in control. Because if you land in control, then you have options. If I want to follow through to the mat, I can. If I want to go like right to a pin, I can go right to a pin. If I want to arm lock them, you know, if I want to roll them over, get them into a strangle or a choke, or finish with a leg lock if I'm doing sambo or jiu-jitsu. So you want to finish and have options. So let's look at it. So when Derek is going to throw, Eric, when he throws, now some people, we're going to discuss this, when he throws and when he finishes, he's going to stand there and finish, and he's going to stand strong right above him. He's not going to land on the guy or fall forward. So he wants to finish in total balance. And this is the hard thing about doing judo or sambo, any throwing sport. Not only does Derek have to control his own body, he has to control his body too. And sometimes his body is out of control because he's controlling it, right? So the onus is on him to even work harder. So that's why you have to finish strong. So let's look at Taitotoshi, okay? So he's just going to watch how he finishes the Taitotoshi. Right there, okay? Now, you don't have to throw them quite as hard, but throw them. And watch and stay there once you finish. Both guys stay there once you finish, okay? So it comes in. Now, he's in control. Eric did a really good break fall, but notice he's still controlling and holding on with both hands. So his hands, he sees his hands, they're there, okay? Now, some coaches will tell you to throw and pull up, okay? That may be okay, but if you pull up too much, you're kind of pulling him out of the throw. And sometimes, I even saw a guy in a practice one time, he was told by his coach to pull up, and he kept telling him, pull up. He threw him, and when he pulled up so bad, the guy landed on his elbow and dislocated his elbow. So that wasn't a good practice to do. So if you do want to pull up a little bit, okay, that's cool, but don't pull up a lot. Because when I finish, I want to finish and with control right there, okay? No matter what the technique may be, Uchimata, Osotogari, any foot sweeps, let's do Taitotoshi again. So let's watch the hands, and this is the Kime, this is the finish of the technique. Okay, now Derek has options. Derek says, I may want to just go right into a Jujigatami from there, okay? So, and he can do that, or he may want to go to a pin. So why don't you go to a Jujigatami? Right there, boom. So we can do the little shoulder sit, roll back, catch the Jujigatami. This time you may want to throw, go right into any type of pin, Just finish with a pin. Boom, just cover them for the pin, just jump on them. The key thing here we're trying to focus on, guys, is don't land on them. Sometimes you may have to land on them. Sometimes some throws are makikomi, where you have to land on them. So the makikomi. Some throws like this, the guy pulls you down on top of him, you have to land on the guy, okay? That does happen sometimes in a competitive or situation, or a street fight. But in practice, you got to take care of each other. And again, I'm not saying pull up on them, but once you throw, just finish with control. Another thing is when you're finishing, you have, like I said, it takes, this is where it takes a lot of practice. It takes control of the body, okay? So watch Derek one more time, I promise, just one more time. And when he does, just before you throw here, when he does, he's not throwing so much that he's leaning forward where he has to land on him and land out of control. And, you know, I'm not picking on the sport of wrestling, but a lot of wrestlers, when they do throws, you know, wrestling isn't a throwing sport primarily. They do throws and takedowns, yes, but most of their throws, they have to land on each other. Again, in American folk-style wrestling, if I stand there up there, I'll slam him, get a slam, and it's against the rules. If I land on him, I'm not violating the rules of wrestling. So a lot of times they'll finish on top of a guy, you know, and just land, but they're throwing, they don't have a lot of control on the end of the throw. I'm not picking on wrestlers so much, but that is inherent to that sport. In judo or sambo, we can throw with control. So watch when he throws, and he finishes, and he's right there, and he's just focusing right on what he's doing. Okay, that's the Kime of it. Right there. He's not necessarily pulling up, he's just parked it there. That, Derek knows I have options. I can go for the pin, arm lock, choke, finish up, whatever I want to go for, okay? So that's one, if you can throw somebody with control, that's a sure sign you have good skill in throwing, okay? And like when we're looking for guys who are, you know, prepping for their black belts, you know, that's one thing I look for as a coach and a student when he's getting ready for his black belt examination. Can he throw somebody and still have control at the end of the throw? No matter what the throw may be. It could be a foot sweep, it could be anything, but can you control him at the end of the throw? And if you can do that, you have total control of your opponent's body. And that's really good judo, that's really good sambo, that's what we're shooting for, okay? We got it, guys? So let's save each other's bodies. We can use the crash pads now, okay? But let's go ahead and throw each other and just take some throws and focus on finishing with control. Whatever throw you want, I don't care, doesn't matter to me, but finish with control. That's what we want to do, okay? All right, that's what we're going for. Finish with, okay, that's the Kime of it.